I'm Chloe and welcome to my channel. And in this video, I want to share with you the energies of April, which are absolutely amazing. But there's still some navigation that I feel would be really powerful for you to be aware of, so that you can really take the opportunities that come through all these downloads that we're getting and continue to get all the way through April and May, so that you can really, it's almost like a bursting through and an anchoring of the new. Now, I spoke about this last month, how you may be getting a sense of that. You know, sometimes you just sort of switch into feeling that kind of like something new's coming along, or something's already starting to anchor in your reality. So this is going to continue, especially because of the energies that are playing out astrologically and also numerologically for this month. So it's very much a co-creative month, I feel, of co-creative energies. We've even got a miracle day as well coming up, which I want to share with you about that. And also, it is the beginning of the eclipse season. So we will be having our first eclipse this month of April on the 20th. But I really want to focus on the full moon and just the energies around that, because I will probably do another video coming up to the new moon with the eclipse, because it's going to be such a big catalyst for so many of us on many different levels. So let's start off with the full moon, which is the 5th or the 6th of April, depending where you are in the world. And the full moon is in Libra. So when we think about Libra, it's very much about balance, about harmony, about cooperation. But when I read the energies, I'm not only just looking a little bit at the astrology, but mostly I'm doing some divination and also tuning in, and also kind of the synchronicities that happen for me and the downloads that I get. So I kind of weave it. It's like spider magic. I weave it all together. So with this full moon, it is around, I feel, around relationships, whether it's relationship within yourself, right? The relationship that you have with yourself, or relationship with others. But I'm weaving that in to do with the ability to hold space. Now, what I feel this will come up this month for a lot of us is that we are being guided, we are being asked to step into a bigger holding of space. Now, initially, that holding of space will always happen for your family and for friends. That's like, if you can't master that level, you're just not going to manage to move to the next level with it. So that will be for some of us, and also depending on our astrological chart as well, that may just come up a bit more, and you'll be invited to go deeper into your ability to hold space for others in your family, those close to you. So what do I mean by hold space? So basically, it's like you're holding, like, to me, like a womb space. Even if you don't have a womb, it's that, you get an idea. It's that you're just holding a nurturing, nourishing, unconditional space for those that are close to you. And it can be challenging because most of us come in with karma with those that we are, blood related to and connected to in some way. or just within the family unit. And so we have to first of all hold space for ourselves, and then hold space for those close around us. And that includes not only being unconditional, but being detached in the advice and the way you support those souls. And really what you're doing is you're tapping into your own innate wisdom that you've accumulated over the years in this lifetime, but also as you activate more of your soul star chakra, also past life wisdom as well. And therefore you're able just to hold a really beautiful, nurturing, unconditional space for those around you as you've cleared any karmic energetic interplays with that. So if you feel that coming up for you and you know that that is an issue for you, I do in my temple sanctuary, which is my membership, and the tier, the activate and the sanctuary tier, I have like, I think it's over like 70 activations and transmissions, and I have one which is the cutting cords, which I would highly recommend, because it's going to help you stay energetically clear, but you still have to do the energy work. I have to really highlight that. It's not like you just do the activation and that's it. But you do the activation, which then clears the energetic place at that point. I would also suggest you work with your solar plexus as well to clear any issues around power and how you hold your power. And as you do that and you retemplate that whole area energetically and clear the karma, which cutting the cords really gives you like that energetic space to do that, so that you're not so hooked in that moment, you'll be able to work through. Because remember, with the full moon, what the full moon does is it either reveals something. It can be specifically what's going on at a subconscious level for you, because the moon is so intricately involved with the emotions and the psyche, and when it's full moon, it's illuminated to the most it possibly can be. So that impacts your psyche, that impacts your ability, often for your dream states, or even in a meditative state, especially if you can get into some sort of alpha state or delta state, to pull up an awareness, and you're able to see something that you weren't able to see before, or you've known about it but it's just coming up more consciously, so that you can look at it and shift it. Right? Now, that's one level to this, right? But there's an upgrade to that. And that upgrade is something, it's a download I received a few days ago when I was walking. And what I realized is because, as we know, there's so much going on globally right now. And because of this huge rebirth that's happening on a very physical level for everybody and for the planet, means that a lot of stuff is dissolving and kind of just fading away. And that can be very triggerish for people, and there is a lot of chaos at a 3D level, a lot of overwhelm, fear, uncertainty, doubt. And so what the download that came to me was that for some of us, especially if you relate to being a starseed, relate to having had off-planet existences, for some of us, I feel, when we came in, it's like we ended up being a little bit in no man's land. And what I mean by that is that when we birthed onto the 3D planet at that point, as it was 3D, we were cut off from our spiritual lineage, from where we'd come from, but at the same time didn't fully want to incarnate and fully anchor into the 3D grids because it was just so heavy and felt so limiting and felt so restrictive. And so therefore, for some of us, that meant that sometimes we struggle with doing very practical 3D stuff because we're not fully grounded. Fully grounded, you know, like we're too up in our heads, or we're too just up in like a Piscean, you know, spiritual, ethereal world. Now, what the download was for me was that what's really now important is that we do really need to ground, but the grounding is through your Earthstar chakra. So when we talk about grounding, I'm not talking about just grounding through your base chakra. I'm actually talking about grounding through your Earthstar chakra. And your Earthstar chakra connects you at a grounded level into the 5D grid. And that is the difference. And I feel that that's what a lot of us are needing to do a lot more, as a lot of the purification is playing out on the planet. So I'm going to be facilitating, as I do inside my temple membership, my full moon ceremony, which consists of work. It's really powerful. I work on the astral planes, because the astral planes are the planes that we tend to find the hardest to get hold of, because it tends to be, it's more the subconscious stuff. And call everyone in etherically into the ceremony, and I work with animal beings, very shamanic. I work with animal beings, elemental beings, and mystical beings. I divine which ones to come through. I also work with crystals and directions. And call in these beings to really support a very in-depth clearing process within your energetic field. I then do a transmission, giving you the kind of like a heads up as to what went on, so that you can identify with that consciously and then work with that throughout the month. But I also channel through like an activation. And the activation that I'm going to channel through is specifically for that Earthstar grounding. So that if you specifically felt that you're a little bit in that like no man's land, you know, you're not fully connected to your spiritual lineage as much as you would like, but at the same time you don't feel very connected to this planet at a certain level, then I feel this activation of supporting you to ground into your Earthstar in a very, very deep way is going to really support you and get you back on and into that fifth dimensional grid. Because remember, prior to 2012, that 5D grid didn't exist on the planet. And so it's like, because we habitually function in a certain way, we have to consciously function differently, if you see what I mean. So if you were born, especially if you were born prior to 2012, and even during that time of transition, you probably find that you are still plugged in at a grounded level to the 3D grids. So being able to consistently plug in to the 5D grids, so it's going to really, really support you. So especially with not feeling so overwhelmed, and I feel being able to get more stuff done in your life, be more focused, and be able to manifest more, because you're manifesting through your connection to the 5D grids on the planet. So I hope that makes sense. I will put a link into at the bottom there for you if you want to join the full moon. It's available for all temple members, so that's Lunar, Sanctuary and Activate. So I'll put all the details below there for you. So with all of that, there is a lot of purification coming through as well, I feel. So the key for this with the purification is that just to be able to move through it as quickly as you possibly can. So that means seeing it, acknowledging it in the moment, see it for what it is, and then making a conscious choice, because that's up to you whether you choose to let it go or not. You don't have to, but if you do, you can just say, right, that's it, and make a conscious choice not to buy into that patterning anymore. Or if it's an emotion, it's to really feel that emotion, not kind of get stuck in it, but just acknowledge it, feel it. And I would put it into what I call the cauldron of the heart, to allow it just to transmute through those love frequencies, really, through the space in your heart, and that will help to move through those emotions that may feel a little tricky at times, as they come up. Of course, with a full moon, that's often the case, of course. And remembering we do have this eclipse coming up, which is super, super powerful, which is, again, what an eclipse does is it brings up those patterns for us to look at, to acknowledge, to see, so that we can let them go. In that. Now, through that whole process, now what you may want to do is, like here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're in spring, and there's a lot of you could want to spring clean. So you may want to physicalize that purification as well a bit more to help that process. So that could be detoxing, fasting, eating lighter. It could be cleaning, doing a deep cleaning, like a real spring clean. It could be getting rid of stuff. And again, could be also part of all those emotions as well, clearing whatever you need that comes up for you through that whole process. And as you do that, I feel that in this whole energies that we're in April with the eclipse as well, it's very much like any situations, any people, anything that, it's almost like a tower moment. It's like if something falls away, it's meant to, right? It's only really our ego that's clinging on to it. So just remember that. If you find you've got a little bit of a tower moment coming up and something's falling away, it's kind of dissolving, just know that's just meant to be. It's just part of the process right now to support you to be able to go into a whole new higher timelines. There's so much more higher timelines now available that have ever been on the planet. But of course, we need to be at a frequency that enables us to lock in to those timelines and lock into that higher frequency. And so, of course, and this is why I'm recommending the cutting of the cords. Often what happens is, and we also see this in the death process as well, when people, they're ready to go, but they're concerned with their family, so they kind of stick around. And once the family have gone out the room or left for the night or whatever, the person goes. It's that same sort of, karmically corded attachments that you can have to situations as well, not only just to people and relationships, but to situations as well, and also to your own ego. So cutting cords is it really, really helps with that as well, to support you, to give you that energetic space to do what you need to do and to move on. And really what you're doing is you're clearing it from a side kind of solar plexus level and really putting it more into your heart, where there's more of a detached, it's more unconditional with all of that. So through that purification, through the cutting of the cords and the letting go of the situation, the people, the relationships, whatever's going on, whether it's something that you're consciously doing or whether you get a little bit of a tower moment and it just kind of happens, I feel especially with that holding space, a lot of you are going to be able to connect more to those lifetimes off planet. So you'll be holding space. So you're not just going to be holding space for yourself and then for your friends and family, those close to you, and then the next step will be like, say, clients or a bigger space, and the wisdom that comes through that from just the knowledge that you've acquired. But what I'm sensing is that for some of you, the space that you're holding is going to get much, much bigger. And I have spoken about this before because I feel that we're in a mass spiritual awakening happening right now on the planet, and more people are looking for support, are looking for people to hold space for them whilst they go through their spiritual awakening process. And I feel that some of this is what I find very interesting, that some of that wisdom will actually be galactic, like off-planet wisdom and knowledge that you're bringing through. And so it's going to open up like a whole new way for you of maybe working, how you work, because of your access to your spiritual lineage more, to your starseed lineage, to galactic information, to galactic beings. And somehow that's going to be weaved into what you do and the frequencies that you bring through. And this is all part of new earth birthing, because this is a whole new era that the planet is coming into and birthing into. And so the way we hold space and the type of wisdom and the information that comes through is going to be way more galactic. It's going to be it's just much more than kind of the archetypes of that have run through this planet's history, if you see what I mean. So I think that's really, really, really exciting. And so I feel that's going to be starting to open up a lot more. I do also want to say with all of this is that, and that's, we do have a lot of Aries energy supporting us, because we've got the eclipse in Aries, and there's a lot of astrological Aries around energy, is that it is still going to take action, it's going to take courage, it's going to take faith, it's going to take you leading you, leadership. It's going to take a moving forward energy to ground that in and to make it into something that is physicalized, however that is to be physicalized. So I do want to share that, because that is so important. This is not about you just sitting back and saying, oh yeah, it will all be sorted for me. No, there's still that feeling of, again, I think it's highlighting that Saturn in Piscean energy, where you're connecting up so much more universally, right? But there still needs to be a grounding of it. There still needs to be a bringing it into the physical. Now, I am actually going to, on the 11th, going to be doing a, it's going to be like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes to an hour transmission on how I pull through and bring through all the workshops that I do. So like taking it from literally inspiration and download all the way down onto actual how it's delivered. And it's something that just came through for me when I was, I think it was like one of my sessions with my quantum manifestation group, and I just said, you know what, I think that would be a really good and useful, insight into one way of doing it. I'm not saying it's the only way, but you might be able to, I think you'll probably find it quite inspiring and give you different ideas for yourself as well, especially if you're, you run your own business, or you create content, write books, or, you work spiritually as a channel, and bring it out in some way, in some form. So I'm actually delivering it as a bonus for everyone on Quantum Manifestation 2.0, and also for my Divine Soul Business Accelerator. Everyone who's taken that workshop as well, as a bonus, that it will go there for you. But I'm actually going to deliver it live on the 11th, and I'm going to explain why it's on the 11th in a moment, because that's a really, really powerful day. I'm going to deliver it live, and I'm going to open it up to everybody. But it's only open up to everybody live. That's it. You'll get to watch it once if you watch it live. If not, the replay will go as a bonus for my Quantum Manifestation and my Divine Soul Business Accelerator clients. So I'm really excited to be, going into all that. So let's actually talk about this 11th. So it's a real power day. It's a mastery. In fact, the month of April is a mastery month, which is why it's like really high voltage, high octane levels of energy. Which is so exciting. But like I said, it's just knowing how to navigate that so that you don't get stuck at any point. So it's numerologically, because it makes up the 11, which is the master ever. But also on the 11th of April, the Sun meets Jupiter. Actually, it meets Jupiter, I believe, in Aries. And a lot of the astrologers call it the day of miracles. So we've got the day of miracles on the 11th month. It's really, really fortuitous. It is a time to be able to receive downloads, like real high inspiration, high downloads. I feel it's very open because it's Sun in Jupiter. Sun is like your core sense of self. Jupiter is like, it's seen as the lucky planet. It's seen as the fortune planet, but it's also seen as the expansive planet, right? So I feel it's going to be an incredible day for receiving downloads, for maybe receiving guidance on and a gateway opening into something new, whether it's a whole new path for you, whether it's maybe it could be a specific new thing that's downloading through you. But on the 11th of April, that there's the energy is amazing, both astrologically and numerologically. It also happens to be, this is another download I got and I went with it, and again I will explain how I go through that process on the 11th on that transmission. But also on the 11th, there's two things I'm doing on the 11th. On the 11th, I am also releasing my brand new 21 Divine Oracle Challenge, which I'm really, really excited about. And what I realized and what came through to me is that I focus a lot on manifestation and co-creation because I feel that is really, really important. What's the point of being on this planet if you're not consciously co-creating, right? And so I do a lot of support on that for everybody, because to me, it's a big part of our spiritual and ascension journey. But also, what I feel is that actually to navigate everything, and especially to navigate in the 5D way, we are really needing to heighten and amplify our intuition, connect more to our inner guidance, connect to our higher guides as well, and be able to channel through that information. Be able to discern within that, right? You know, like discern, is that coming from my ego? Is that coming from higher guidance? You know, and how to kind of open up the psyche, have more faith and trust basically in the whole of that process. Also looking at like Raven power, looking at Black Madonna energy. You know, it's very divine feminine energy and the energetics behind all of that. And so I felt actually doing a little bit every day, like just a half an hour every single day is going to help you embody it. It's going to help you to stay focused and bring it into the physical. And so that's why I really felt guided with this 21-day Divine Oracle challenge, which is going to consist of like little tiny mini trainings, like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, like an audio from me or a little video from me with a few play actions. And then I'm going to hold it in our circle community so that we can, you know, chat about it. People can, you know, write down what's coming through for them. And it's really just holding space for you to sink deeper into connecting in with your intuition, connecting in with your psyche, you know, like journaling, and just having a concrete space that's holding you in that to be able to do that, as well as sharing little mini trainings along the way as well. I will also, interestingly, be for most of that actually be in Cyprus. And so I will also do maybe a couple of lives just on the spur of the moment, see what's coming through. And so, you know, it's a really divine feminine energy out in Cyprus, very mystery schools, connects to a lot of mystery schools out there. So I'll be running that challenge. I'm going to give you the links below if you want to join. It's $44 for the whole 21 days. If you're a Temple member, it's half price. You will find the code, if you're a Temple member, to the challenge inside the Temple dashboard. It's already there. We put it already there for you. So if you want to join us for that. Also, the minute you join us, there will be a third eye activation that I've got there just to get you going with all of that as well. Get you in the flow as you build up to the 11th. And I will be doing a live transmission because it begins, this 21 days begins on the 11th, which to me is like totally perfect, because it's that energy of total expansion of those intuitive downloads. So I just think I'm just really excited about it, really. So yes, so that is the 11th. The last thing I wanted to share with you was the eclipse. So we're coming in April into the eclipse season, and we've got the solar eclipse in Aries. So again, brand new beginnings on steroids because it's an eclipse on the 20th. So it's like even more powerful than a normal eclipse because of that. And it's very much initiatory power, initiatory energy. It's going to bring up to the surface anything that, again, you need to be aware of, that you need to shift to really step in to your power, step into the new, step into what you've been trying to birth over these last 6 months or so. And it's really, okay, I keep on saying powerful, but it's really, really powerful. Again, we may well see stuff kick off on an outer level, but it's very, very powerful on an inner level as well. I will probably be doing another transmission around that nearer the time, but I will actually be facilitating a new moon healing, a live new moon healing actually from Cyprus. So that's really, really exciting. So on the 20th, I'll be in Cyprus. It's not my normal time. It'll be written down just because I've got a difference in time zones going on there. So yes, I'll be facilitating a full transference healing over the eclipse in Cyprus, in a, you know, really powerful grid point. So I can't wait. I know it's going to be absolutely amazing. I haven't tuned into it yet, so I don't know yet. I'll probably do that in the next week or so, what it actually involves. But if you know that you do want to receive, it's like a huge upgrade. When we work with the transference healing frequencies, it's a huge, huge upgrade. Tap into your patterning. Not only clear the etheric body, but really work with your light body to support the anchoring of codes, that whole integration process, really for your ascension, but also for the birthing of your spiritual gifts and talents as well. So I feel to be able to receive a healing on a sacred location in Cyprus, on a sacred grid point that links to all these different mystery schools over the eclipse, is going to be profound. It probably is, as I'm just now starting to tune into it, but I feel that probably what it will do, especially if you've had you know, lifetimes in different mystery schools and maybe some wounding around that, a lot of us do, probably find that might be an opening up, because of where I'm actually facilitating the healing of a clearing of that to come through for you. Obviously for each person it's very different, but it will be live. Don't worry if you can't catch me live. And I also, like, I'm in a hotel. I don't know what the Wi-Fi is going to be like, so it might even be a bit dodgy. Fingers crossed the Wi-Fi will be fine and I will be able to facilitate it live. So it means that you can join me, ask questions, and just connect live while I'm running the energy. At the end of that, I also will channel through an activation that will generally comes within the next 24 hours afterwards. I get clear on it, on the specific activation meditation to support the integration of the healing. If you want to join me for that, that is available inside the temple, or it's for temple members, but you need to be on the activate tier for that. So if you are in temple activate, then that's part of the package. Again, I'll put the links below. And if you're already, say, a lunar temple member or sanctuary and you want to upgrade for this month, then just write to support and they will get that all sorted for you. Or you can just upgrade straight away and then let us know and we'll cancel your previous membership. Okay, so I'm really looking forward to this month. It's going to be so big, but just know how to navigate the purification process as it comes up. But yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Okay, take care. Bye.